There's a strange kind of pain that deep thinkers carry. One Carl Jung called the burden of consciousness. It isn't heartbreak. It isn't failure. It's the exhaustion that comes from seeing too deeply into life. While others swim happily on the surface, you're the one who keeps noticing what lies beneath the fears, motives, contradictions, and masks. And sometimes, that awareness feels less like a gift and more like a heavy light you can switch off. Imagine you're at a friendly dinner table. Laughter, gossip, light chatter, it's easy. But when you speak about something, real truth meaning, in a struggle the air changes. People glance away. Someone cracks a joke to shift the mood. You weren't trying to be deep. You were simply being honest. 2. That quiet moment of discomfort. That's what Jung called the tension between consciousness and the collective sleep. Jung discovered that as awareness expands, the world doesn't always expand with you. It can shrink, conversations feel smaller, crowds louder, relationships thinner. It's not superiority. It's a shift in perception. You begin to see the invisible strings behind behavior, the insecurities driving confidence, the wounds behind ambition, the loneliness behind noise. And that level of perception is tiring. Because while others talk about tasks, you sense the emotions hovering beneath. You can feel when someone's words don't match their tone. You pick up the anxiety people think they've hidden. By the end of a simple meeting or family gathering, you're drained not because of people, but because you've unconsciously processed everything they didn't say. Jung called this psychic contamination, the mind's tendency to absorb the unprocessed material of the environment. Highly conscious people become like emotional filters for the collective. They clean the energy of rooms without realizing it and then wonder why they're so tired. But this fatigue isn't failure. It's evidence that your awareness is evolving. And, like all evolution, it demands withdrawal. The withdrawal phase across ancient cultures, Jung noticed a repeating pattern. After awakening, individuals enter solitude. The monk retreats. The sage wanders. Virus disappears. It starts running a wits integration. You're relearning to operate with a new sensitivity in a world that has NT caught up. In solitude, awareness stops leaking outward and begins transforming inward. But Jung warned of 2 traps here. The first is spiritual inflation, believing you're above others because you've seen more. The second is hermit neurosis, mistaking isolation for enlightenment. Healthy withdrawal restores your energy. Unhealthy withdrawal feeds your ego or despair. The difference? Whether you plan to return. Because true individuation, Jung said, always circles back to community, not to blend in again, but to contribute authentically. You re-enter life, no longer chasing validation but offering presence. You stop performing and start serving. Relationships shift from needing approval to sharing awareness. This re-engagement is the final initiation. It's learning to stay awake among the sleeping without judging them, without losing yourself. To walk into noise without becoming noise. To love the world even when you see through its illusions. Nay, when you can do that, you embody what Jung called conscious participation without absorption. You're in the world but not consumed by it. Your clarity itself becomes medicine, slowly influencing others, just by being diff. If you've ever felt the weight of awareness, the loneliness of seeing too much, remember, you're not broken, you're simply early. Deep thinkers are not outsiders. They're architects of humanity's next stage. So honor your solitude, protect your energy, and prepare to return with wisdom the world doesn't yet know it needs. Because your consciousness isn't a burden, it's your contribution. If this message resonated, drop a comment saying I honor my authentic path. Like this video if you've ever felt the fatigue of awareness. And subscribe to join thousands of minds exploring depth, truth, and transformation together. In a world that often misunderstands depth, you'll always find understanding here. Stay conscious, stay kind, and I'll see you in the next dimension.